It's... Whoa. Was that you? Anchor Baby did a nice sound effect. That sounded cool. Was that from... That's from... nice. Was that a drop? Anyway. Oh, Nazulium. My bag. Nazulium. Gave a diamond yesterday saying... I don't know if I can say this word. Am I allowed to say this? Moon crickets are full of anger and stolen bikes, he says. What a mess. And I don't know if that's okay to say. To me, it sounds like a harmless phrase, but it kind of references black people, I guess, and that's considered racist. Let's see. Is this word bad to say? Pardon me while I check this out. It is, by the way, it's 9:01 now here in Los Angeles. Yes, moon cricket is a derogatory term, a racial slur used against black, capital B, black, to kiss up to the blacks ever since George Floyd. People. They've been pushing it for years, and then when Florida happened, it had nothing to do with race other than that the blacks, like George Floyd, are all too often so out of control, get themselves all squirrely with the police. It's a them problem, not an us problem. Anyway, they say the exact origin is obscure, so why you act like it's derogatory? It's just kind of cute. It honestly sounds kind of cute. One theory suggests it relates to enslaved people in the United States who sang at night after labor. This is speculation, of course. With crickets being active during the evening under the moon. Another source cites its appearance in prison slang in the 1990s. The term may sound innocuous. Yeah, it sounds innocuous. Sounds less than innocuous. Sounds cute. Its history is rooted in racist usage, widely considered offensive. Offensive? Considered offensive. It's like when blacks they think that something is offensive to whites, so they'll say it to the whites. And they're like, is that supposed to offend me? And then you get offended because they're trying to offend you. You get offended at their efforts that fall short. Widely considered offensive. Instances of its use have resulted in lawsuits. What? And public outcry. Geographic usage. Used in the United States primarily. Particularly southeastern states like Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. Nice. Well, thanks a lot, Nazulium. Putting my channel at risk. Cricket emoji. Nice. And always let your conscience be your guide. Give it a little whistle. Give a little whistle. So the views expressed on this show do not represent those of Hake. I do not represent myself. It's a fact. Nor Bond, nor JLP, the Anchor Baby, who is on hiatus. Howdy, Ponto King. Nor anything else. It's just entertainment and general information mainly, and entertainment and calm down. All right, so no endorsement implied. No opposition. You know, they've gone after the freedom of speech of so many people. It's traumatic. And not only the freedom of speech, the freedom period. They've gone after their right to property. It's crazy. It's crazy. I will get to your super chats. There's a bunch that have come in. Or a few anyway. Thank you guys. I'm live on punchy.tv and oh, wait a minute. And other platforms. And the calls the lines are starting to fill up a little bit. There is one line open for sure, though. I know, Age of Inversion. One little word, and it's like a 5-alarm word out. Something out. It's crazy. It's terrible. But we're going to get going here. All kinds of mess going on in the world. The stuff that I was talking about with regard to people getting their freedom of speech violated has to do with this female judge that I was reading about in Hake News, who was acting like, well, she said, oh, the Onion can buy InfoWars. That's kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of loud. Turn it down. And then actually mute it. I don't know if I'm going to be talking, yapping in this clip, in this footage. And so, like, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. I don't really keep up with what other hosts and competitors of mine say. So I don't know. And that's what the commies like to do. They like to get you back on your heels, go outside of your area of expertise. I'm not an expert on AJ, my competitor, Alex Jones. But he's on the hook for like $1 billion. $1 billion. That seems exorbitant. Over supposed defamation. They convicted him of defamation, I guess, or something, of the Sandy Hook families. This apparently liberal town, because what conservative town would sue a guy over supposed followers of his supposedly harassing and threatening them? Of course, I disavow and disclaim harassment and threatening. It has nothing to do with AJ, in my view, but then again, I'm a real American, and we have un-American, anti-free speech false values. What a mess, huh? And it's funny because this is like a liberal town raised by liberal people, a liberal young man, liberal meaning angry, right? Liberal, angry young man, son of his single mother, shot his single mother, then went to the school and shot up the school, the children, the adults, and I think he killed himself too. Adam Lanza? His dad wished he'd never been born, that his son had never been born. Dad hadn't, I don't think, seen him in a couple of years. So this is all liberal stuff. Divorce, separation from the fathers. And then they want to blame the conservatives. They want to blame the NRA, and they want to blame, act like, I don't know, it's a mess. So, it's a big mess. I guess the more out of control they are, the more perfect you must be. So, chin up, King. Pray for my competitors and their networks. We wish them well. And we wish the liberals well, too, if we wish anybody well. What a mess. So, yeah, I hear myself yapping, so I'm going to mute this thing. And we're going to get going over here, because we got to get started. 1-888-775-3773. And thehakereport.com if you want to find the different ways by which you can super chat, because on YouTube I am demonetized. It's been years, and I am hesitant to apply for remonetization again. I'm not sure what to do, so I'm holding off for now. But let's just, guys, get right on with 10 minutes later the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. How do you like my t-shirt? I've worn it kind of recently. It's my I Disavow t-shirt. If you go to thehakereport.com or directly to hake.printify.me, then you too can get your I Disavow or other Hake-related t-shirt. It's cute, sort of. It's a nice sort of a mint green, I might say. I don't know. I forget what it is. Check into it. Check it out. Okay. I would like to get to Hayden in Texas, who's on the line here. Hayden, H-A-D-E-N. Not, you guys always spell it with a Y, not the call screener, but you guys in the chat. What's up, Hayden in Texas? Happy Men's History Month to you, man.
My brother Hake. Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
How have you been doing?
I've been pretty well. Thank you. How about you?
Can't complain. Can't complain. Been busy.
That's good.
Can't complain.
That's cool. That's the way to do it.
living the American dream, right?
Yeah.
You brought up the insults that liberals will think offend whites or conservatives, or liberals or non-whites used to, like, for example, racist. You just brought that up a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Right. There was a meme I just came across on social media not too long ago, and it went in this order. It was some nasty looking liberal. It was a photo, of course, but they wrote this in. It says, "You're a racist, correct? Well, you're an anti-Semitic, correct? You're fat-phobic, correct? You're transphobic, correct? You're a bigot, correct?" It was a liberal name calling to the conservative, and he was just answering correct every single time. So
Nice.
I mean, like, it's like, what can the liberals do after that?
Not much. They can't really do much, especially if you don't get shaken by them, either angry or afraid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
I reposted. I was like, me on a daily basis. That's how
Nice.
I feel every single day. I really do. The reason I wanted to call in, have you been noticing, how should I put it, higher up conservative influencers, social media influencers, calling out the Jays and the non-whites a lot? Have you been noticing that on social media?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I've been noticing it a lot, and people showing a lot of support for it as well. For example, politician Marjorie Taylor Greene, she has really, really been going at the Jays hard recently.
Yeah, has she? MTG. She was calling it, she called it a genocide, I heard. Because I played this clip of last week, I think, of Bernie being interviewed by some CNN woman. And then this CNN woman pointed out that Marjorie Taylor Greene called it a genocide, what's going on in Gaza.
I think I saw that part, yeah. I think I saw that.
And so she's going after Jewish people? Yeah, that's right. She did the Jewish space laser post, supposedly, way back, right?
Probably so.
Over
Probably
the
so.
Hawaii situation?
She was on your competitor show about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And they were addressing specifically AIPAC.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a Jewish-funded group.
Yeah, America-Israel Alliance Political Action Committee, something like that. I don't know.
Yes, it's a buy politicians pretty much. It's a, like, politicians are bought. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
And a lot of other people see it. But I mean, she was going at that in particular, and your co-host was not your co-host, your competitor was agreeing with everything she said. So I mean, it looks like a lot of people in MAGA are waking up to, the whole Jewish thing and the whole non-white topic as well. Maybe, possibly, we're not equal.
Right.
You know, I think they're finally waking up to that in some way, shape, and form. There's some who are still defending Israel a lot, and I'm sure you know who they are. On the right. But I mean, you know, a lot of people are waking up to the whole Jewish control over the United States.
I like that there's a sense that there's a little bit more freedom of speech. I like that aspect of it, especially.
Me too.
Where people can speak their mind and disagree. I mean, there's not totally freedom of speech, of course, because there's people who are mocked, marginalized, sued, found guilty for defamation, where I don't think that was fair.
Exactly, yep.
On the hook, debanked, and stuff like that. I heard that Trump is wanting to go after some of these companies who are these banking companies that are discriminating against conservatives. I would love to see that happen. But yeah, I like that people are, I don't know if I would characterize it as waking up, but, and I'm not sure, I don't think that it's, I don't like Marjorie Greene anymore.
You don't? Why is that?
Because she's a woman. She's like a loudmouth. She hasn't really, I don't think that she's really done anything good. She did, I liked that she was standing up for the J6ers. I liked that she kind of stood up for Trump. But her life is kind of a mess. And she's trying to, she seems like a grandstander. So I just don't trust her.
So I'm with you. I don't love the fact that women are in politics. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But as far as women goes, I think she's pretty good for being a woman politician, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of like the top of the. She's like at the. I don't even know if she's the top, but she's like, you know, in the above average of the dung pile. You know, it's a mess.
Right.
And even that, she might not. I haven't watched her lately. I didn't see her on InfoWars or whatever she was on. So I can't say, but she just doesn't strike me as like real. I love that she spoke at HalfPack 3, that, you know, with JLP and other JLP spoke there and stuff. But
okay, I must have missed that part.
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Interesting.
The other thing that I don't like or trust is the know-it-all type of spirit that dominates the Jew critics right now. The Jew critics, a lot of them are saying the same liberal things as the liberals. Genocide in Gaza, the children in Gaza. That's just liberal stuff. That's not like a real criticism. It doesn't strike me as.
Oh, so you're talking about the buzzwords that they use?
These buzzwords that are they're aimed at getting people fired up. And when Trump will say something that's true, and it'll fire people up because he just says it plainly and truthfully. Now, if Trump calls it genocide, then okay, fine. Maybe it's a genocide. But until Trump's... Because I'm so... I basically have... He has established a trust with me because he's unshakable. But these other people are just... And I totally like some of these other hosts who are talking about this stuff and not as... Because I'm kind of pro-Israel. At least I don't necessarily go along. I don't necessarily go along with, Israel is wrong in this Gaza thing. I don't know, and I get that we sent them money and weapons and stuff. We always do. I don't know. You have to work with people.
We have for a long time.
Yeah.
So do you agree with the notion that they're our greatest ally?
I don't know. I don't know who says that. Other than sarcastically. Do people say that unironically? Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure I've heard them say
I don't know that we really have any allies, honestly. People say, oh, no, Israel's not our greatest ally. Australia is. But Australia are a bunch of snakes too, just because they're not necessarily, maybe they're run by similar people, actually, as the people running our show and Israel's show. But I tend to like, as the Israeli leaders go, I like Bibi better than any of the others. I get that I don't fully necessarily trust him, but he's just comes off as more manly than any of the rest of them, and more genuine than most of these other phony politicians. So, I don't know.
Well, that's how snakes can be, though. They want to come across as charming, and
Yeah,
you know,
I've been
they want
fooled
you to trust them
before.
and stuff.
Yep. I used
No,
to
I'm just
think
kidding.
Ted Cruz was a real one, and now I've said this story before, and then I saw him next to Trump. I'm like, oh my gosh, Ted Cruz kind of phony.
Yeah, they all have their moments. You
And
know, Ted
I
Cruz
don't
and
like or trust any of these grandstanders who are on X and elsewhere, who are
right, yeah.
who are just going against the Jews and stuff, or the ones for them, or the ones for Israel. You know, the bipartisans in the government. They're all,
Right.
oh, we support Israel, but you don't support Israel the right way. It's a mess.
They're probably supporting Israel for the perverted ways, or for the
Yeah.
perversion.
There's a
if you
right
know
and
what I mean.
wrong way to support or oppose, agree or disagree, and I don't see a lot of the right way going on either side.
Well, I don't support Israel or Gaza, period. So I mean, if that war is still going on, which there's so much news that comes out every single day. I lose track of it a lot of the times.
Yep.
So I mean, if that war is still going on, whoever wins, I really don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah. I don't know if there's gonna be a winner. It's only gonna be losers, you know.
It seems like it's a never-ending war.
Yeah. Kind of like the Russia-Ukraine thing.
Exactly.
It's out of control. Like Trump had told Israel like months ago, you got to wrap it up. You got to finish the job.
I know that Ukraine-Russia war has been going on for so long.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I brought up about a week ago the return to the land thing.
Yes.
Out in Arkansas. Do you remember that conversation?
Yep. Sort of.
I brought up the leader of that. I forget his name off the top of my head right now. It's like Orwell.
Yeah, Orwoll or something like that. Eric Orwoll or something. ORW.
Yeah, that's him.
ALL or OLL. Forget. He was on JLP show.
Eric, I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Eric Orwell. I told you that I joined the Space Biz on X, and a bunch of non-whites were in it. They were hosting it as well. They must have invited him or something. And it really confused me, why he was in their space. And I got word that he's gonna, he's gonna help them, most likely not financially, but to lead them in the right direction to create their own.
Oh yeah, somebody told me that. Was that you who told me that they were asking the blacks were asking the whites for advice on how to start their own thing?
They were asking the white man for help. That was me.
What a mess.
I was the one that brought that up.
You know what's even more of a mess is, I think that's kind of heartwarming, actually. I guess.
You think so? Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's cute.
I think it's sad.
Look at this. Yeah, it is. A couple weeks ago, this took place. Whites Only Group, according to the Missouri Independent, draws bipartisan, which almost always means evil, bipartisan rebuke over a potential move to Missouri. Because they're in Arkansas, I guess? I forget.
They're in Arkansas, yes.
Yeah. Expanding to Missouri, it's inspired bipartisan outrage from state so-called lawmakers and local officials who decry the group as racist and anti-Semitic. What a mess, huh? I thought this was America.
So that is great news if they are going to expand to Missouri. That is awesome news. Because I heard they also purchased land. They may have already built up a society or something. I don't know yet. Up in Maine.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they're spreading over towards Missouri, that is awesome news for the white race.
What a mess. It's cool when somebody does something and it grows. Listen to this. House Majority Leader Alex Riley, Springfield, Missouri, Republican. Racism in any form is evil and reprehensible, says he. Which doesn't even exist, right? Doesn't even.
He sounds like a liberal.
If you believe that it exists, then you have to believe it could be good or evil. Anyway,
Exactly. 100%.
Groups engaging in racist conduct are not welcome in Springfield. And you know, I see stuff like in LA, Los Angeles is for all people. I see these people in these t-shirts or sweatshirts or sweaters. And I'm like, even the racists? Is Los Angeles okay for the racists?
Exactly.
Because all these POCs, they act the same way as the whites, or worse, in terms of these whites who are acting so-called racist. They totally identify with their Mexicanity, or their blackness, or their Vietnameseness, or whatever. They're all into their nationality, their nation, their ethnicity, or being Asian even. It's the Asian thing is more of a liberal communist thing than just a nationalist thing. But there are all kinds of nationalists who are in America, and they're not pro-America. They are pro.
Yep.
They are pro
Wherever
their
they
own
came
selfish ideas of their own so-called identity. What a mess.
Wherever they came from, and they're in their own fantasy land about their own.
Yeah. So
race.
where does that
for
leave
some
your?
reason you think they're...
So where does that leave your racist conduct not welcome in Springfield? This is America. All are welcome. Racist welcome. What a mess.
Quote unquote. But see, that disappoints because Missouri is a pretty Republican state. So I mean, that's it. What you said that was a congressman or a senator?
A House Majority Leader. I think it's a state. It's a state legislator, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See,
out of
that's
the
a shame.
state House of Representatives. Is that him?
having a conservative talk like that?
Yeah, this is Alex Riley, April 10th, news conference in Missouri. That's a picture of him.
That's embarrassing.
You know, politicians have to play that game. I don't want to hold it. I don't want to condemn them too badly, but that's an untrue statement. It's wrong. It's incorrect. I disagree, sir.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why I brought up about the space again, I was upset that he was helping, quote unquote, helping the blacks or whatever form their own black society or non-white society or whatever.
Yeah.
And I asked people about it, and they told me, so this is the whole whites only society, and if it gets started up, the whole blacks only society is going to get a lot of media coverage. From what I've been told is that he's going to help, quote unquote, help the blacks form their own society, so that the media can see how good the white society is going to be and how destructive and how torn down the black society is going to be if and when he helps them with it. So that's apparently Eric Orwell's strategy. With the whole thing about helping them.
Yeah.
Obviously, either side's going to get a lot of media coverage because, I mean, this is sort of new. I don't think this has ever happened in American history before. Having a whites-only society and a blacks-only society within America.
Yeah, ever since they did force the integration on us?
Well, yeah, like, good point. Exactly right, yes.
Yeah.
Ever since the 50s and 60s and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's going to get a lot of coverage. And I think he just wants to show the media and the public the difference between what a white society looks like versus a black or non-white society. So I just wanted to bring that up. That was his purpose in potentially helping him if and when he does. So.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Mark in Los Angeles brought up this Freedom Georgia group that's black, and he said, and it was accurate, it looks like a COA camp. You know, it had just tents and trailers and campers and nothing really built.
But we're all the same, though, are we, Hake? We're all the same.
It's a different type of people. Yeah, totally.
We're all created equal, according to the modified version of the Constitution.
Thank you, Hayden in Texas. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you, Hake. Have a good day.
You as well. Daniel in Texas, Tejas. How you doing, Daniel?
Hey, James, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing well?
I wanted to ask you about the Jewish question.
Ooh.
So you get a lot of calls about what's going on in Israel, and can you just summarize your thoughts on it?
On what's going on in Israel and our
And the callers' perspectives.
There are callers who feel like we shouldn't be helping them at all. I think most of the callers feel like America shouldn't be helping them at all. I haven't really taken a position on. I don't really have a strong position, but and they think that Israel is hurting all these children, and it's not Hamas. Some of these callers think that it's not even Hamas's fault too. Like there's no shared blame with Hamas for whatever Hamas is doing, like using supposed human shields or whatever, or setting up in these places. So it seems like they've decided what they think is going on. They think that some of them think that that Bibi or the powers that be in Israel let October 7th happen so that they could have an excuse to go in and take over that area and ethnically cleanse that area, send these problem people out of there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the truth is with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We were talking about Azzmador and his interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, and then you had on your website had the Mike Enoch interview from January 18th, 2018.
Yeah, that's right.
January 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about 2 years prior to the Azzmador interview, which I found to be interesting.
Yeah.
And Azzmador said that he had come at Jesse from a position of not really knowing Jesse all that well. I do think he's kind of being unfair to himself, because I think he basically was very honest with Jesse, and Jesse in turn was being honest as well. And 2 years later, Azzmador has, with his counterpart, a personal interview with Jesse about forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I think both the Mike Enoch one, I think, is a condensed version of the follow-up interview that Azzmador has in 2019, in November 2019, where it's a longer form version, and it really allows Jesse to elaborate. It's kind of a deep dive of these issues pertaining to how the whites see Jews. And so I had never seen the Mike Enoch one until you had showed it, or you had shown where to find it, and I was able to watch it.
Yep.
And so in that interview, their grievance is the control of this narrative by these Jewish elite. And Jesse's counter to that is the blacks say the same thing about white people, and look what happened to the blacks. So obviously there's a flaw in blaming any particular group of people despite the conditions. So anyway, I just wanted to ask you about your thoughts on those things.
I really agree with JLP's thing. You know, this anger, attachment, intellectual attachment to this idea. You know, when you can't let an idea go, you feel like other people aren't getting it and how frustrating that is. And so it makes you want to harp on this idea more. You become obsessed with this idea or fact set of facts. That feels like that's what's happening with a lot of the whites and others, Hispanics and blacks and Jews, who get into this anti-Jew criticism, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, whatever, criticism and blame. It's that is rooted in anger, and I don't think that they realize that. And anger really makes you stupid. You get into your head about what Jesse is saying or what other people are saying, and you interpret them and interpret things in a way that they're not even saying. And you interpret reality in a way that makes what you're focusing on seem more important than it actually is. And you're losing sight of yourself and the evil within.
Yeah.
And so, I mentioned yesterday on Punchy TV that the white haters think that Jesse's paid by the whites, and the Jew haters think that Jesse's paid by the Jews.
Yeah.
And they have no proof. They only have speculation, but they think it's true. Joe from Phoenix, whom I lovingly, if I have any love, banned him, put him at arm's length for the time being. He thinks that I hate Obama because he's black, because Obama's black.
Yeah.
And it just makes no sense. But people get into their heads, and they think that nobody can arrive at any other conclusion other than what they have arrived at. Otherwise, they must be getting paid or compromised or controlled opposition or whatever. And so I just find that people aren't really thinking clearly.
Did you have this awakening for yourself? Was there a particular group of people that you had perceived were conniving against you prior to understanding these things?
Understanding about anger and how it distorts your mind.
Right. Did you ever have that Thanksgiving meal with your parents when you're talking about gas chambers?
I never really got that into the Jewish blame stuff. I've over the decade been educated by hearing you guys, not you personally, but a lot of you guys talk, seeing your chats, hearing the different things, and noticing myself, because it seemed so off the wall. I wasn't aware that Jewish people were even Jewish. I didn't realize how common they are in like government and stuff.
Right.
So I never really became something that I got really hung up on. But I did. I was more of a boomer, a Tea Party angry person. I back in 2012 and prior, I was against Obama, and I'm mad about that, and mad at my friends, and mad at the girls, and mad at myself. That's a lyric, but it's true.
Yeah.
And so I think more than anybody, I probably hated the women, because the women are just ridiculous. And yet I liked the women, and that's probably why I hated them too, because I wanted something from them.
Right.
So I think it was more that, and then I did notice that I was wrong when I was just prideful and puffing up, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I know that I had that phase where you channel a lot of resentment onto a certain group of people that you see as elite and is not sharing the wealth, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it comes down to is this idea that, well, I know where the money should be going. It shouldn't be going to Israel, right? And this idea that, well, I know better. The fact of the matter is, if you had any power over your life, you wouldn't be concerned about these things. And I think what happens is people realize that they have no control over their lives, and they rail, as opposed to letting whatever happen.
Yeah.
So
True.
But
Yeah, you nice. It's like the I have heard it likened to the angry, and I've repeated it before, the angry teenager who's mad at his parents.
yeah,
If you call the Republicans or the conservatives or the based people or the whites the father, the whites in charge, I guess, the weak father, and then the Democrats and the liberals, the communists, call the Nazis the weak father, and call the communists the fake evil, fake nice evil mother, and then the us plebs are the angry. I guess the Nazis are more like the angry teenagers against the rhinos. Whatever. But I don't know if you're getting my point. Like you're right about the parents. Yeah, they're two wings on the same bird. They're a bunch of weak, evil people. And you're right about them, but just don't be mad about it. You're gonna end up just like them.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of the Jew blamers. I've made the point that a lot of them will come in. A few of them will come into my show or Jesse's show or whatever, all like sneaky and sideways. Like they come in with a question that's like a setup question to prove you wrong or to make a gotcha or something. Whereas if you just come at me straight, then we can have it's better. Although they're scared if they come at them straight, then they're going to get hung up on, which if they're out of control, they will. So what a mess. Yeah, totally. It's not even that they're necessarily even wrong about a lot of the stuff that they're saying. The facts are right there in front of your face. A lot of the facts that they cite. I'm not sneaky, says Zenny. Right, Zenny. I know that.
Well, what's rich? What I find is rich, and not to say this from a self-righteous point, but this idea of being able to discern where the money should go and where it shouldn't, and yet not being able to discern that you're upset because you're not getting the cut. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not getting the cut, so now you want to flip the table.
Interesting.
And I think that's the reality of it. And the only way that you're going to get something of benefit to you, whether it's financial, is being useful, finding a way to be useful.
Yeah.
And that means you have to do things you're not going to want to do. You're going to have to spend 12 hours learning how to fine-tune an engine, right? You're going to have to spend an extraordinary amount of time learning how to run electricity.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't want to do that. They want to rail at not getting the cut when they see people on welfare. Well, they don't have to learn how to run cable, and they get all this money.
But they're not thriving with it. It's kind of like how the whites sometimes look at the blacks. Richard Spencer did in the past, at least according to interviews, at how they have this supposed brotherhood, right? And they band together, and it supposedly works for them, but it doesn't work for them. No. Yeah, the evil ones have political sway to turn the country more evil. What good does that do the blacks? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And many of these commentators, they make a lot of money complaining.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a big popularity with the Jew blaming right now.
Yeah.
It gets the views like crazy.
And
and they know that. A lot of them know that, and they're like, your show is dying because you don't join the anti-Jew bandwagon. I'm like, what? You're asking me to try to be popular, saying something that I don't even necessarily believe fully. So it's a mess. It's not what we're about. You know what? I don't think that it's just the money thing. I think it's the ego thing. it's the principle of things. You know, when you get mad at somebody
Yeah.
over just the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
It's not really the principle of the matter. It's your ego attachment to the judgment.
It's not the school; it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, it's the thrill of judging.
Yeah.
You think you know something.
Yeah, and I think that's the sell. I know something. I know the keys. I have the keys to the kingdom. And, you know, give me your attention. Give me your lend me your ears.
Yeah.
And in this manner, it is very much an ego trip.
Yeah.
It kind of plays as Captain Hindsight. You're going around saying, well, you know, if they did this instead, things would be much better. You know,
Right.
I'm Captain
World War
Hindsight. I
II.
know.
We shouldn't have gotten into World War II. It
Right.
messed us all
Yeah.
up.
American Civil War. We could have negotiated that.
Yeah.
You know?
True. Rather than dealing with reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if only they knew. You know, if only they knew what I know now.
Right.
You know, those. You know, Lee. He's an engineer, but he just doesn't know. Like, no, they know.
That's why I think that it's better to have a strong man who's strong character and tested and can deal with people like Trump rather than a based man who has all the right opinions.
Yeah.
We may disagree with Trump's opinions, or we don't even necessarily know all of Trump's opinions, but he deals with what is. And he deals with it the best he can.
Yeah.
All these people think they do better than Trump.
Yeah. But but the reason why I mentioned the Azzmador interviews
Yeah.
of JLP is because these are all the grievances that are coming onto your show. You know, the various callers that come onto the show. These are the exact same grievances, and they're all delivered in a tightly condensed package that is very digestible. They all make sense, and they're laid before JLP, and JLP calmly addresses each one of these things.
And you're referring to the Mike Enoch interview, the Daily Show.
The Mike Enoch, yes.
That was the one that was, I showed it on, I think it was JLP Talks thing, right? JLP,
Yeah.
It was on Jesse Lee Peterson's channel.
And then Azzmador's interview is in Odyssey. He was canceled so often that he had to move from DLive to Odyssey and so his stuff is a mixed bag across the internet.
Yeah.
But it is on Odyssey. If you look up Azzmador's channel and you type in Jesse, it will be in Odyssey.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Azzmador. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Makes me, it puts me in my feelings seeing this. Dang.
Because I called before saying where you would be able to find it, and then I started searching for it. I was like, oh, no, you can't find it in the places that I had mentioned.
Right.
But you can find it and go to content and search, type Jesse.
Azzmador and Jimmy Chang interview Jesse Lee Peterson.
There you go. It's that middle one right there.
Yeah. Very nice. Shout out to Odyssey, as liberal as they are. As liberal and unhelpful as they can be sometimes. They made it work. I mean, they're coming through for us.
Yeah.
And actually, I think what's cool about Odyssey is you guys can download these. I think, yeah, you can literally download the episode and repost it. That's cool. I don't know if I'm logged in that I can like it. No, I'm not logged in. But nice. Let's hear a little bit.
But we are to wherever it is he's going to be talking to us from.
For posterity, this is how Azzmador used to sound.
Well, let me get that echo out. I've got my audio playing. Hold up. There we go.
Man. Dang. Anyway. Wow, thanks for bringing that up, man. So, yeah, check out those interviews. You Jew critics.
Yeah.
And maybe you can learn something from JLP, because he may be deeper than you and more pertinent to your life than you may realize.
Yeah. These philosophical conversations have happened. They've already happened. And this is one example of where it's already taken place.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Thanks again,
All right, well,
Daniel.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me.
Happy
Bye.
Men's History Month. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oops, I hung up on somebody. What a boomer. That's cool. So that's the one from, and that was on March 16th, 2022. Azzmador and Jimmy Chang interviewed Jesse Lee Peterson. And that was a 4-hour stream, but JLP wasn't on there for 4 hours, of course. And then 7 years ago, Mike Enoch versus Jesse Lee Peterson on the Daily Shoah. And Shoah is kind of a bad thing to say because that's a Holocaust, daily Holocaust. I disclaim that, disavow that. But anyway, that's he and his co-host, and I think last minute they recruited Azzmador to be a co-host. Oh yeah, DeMarcus Leibovitz. Nice. Right on. Check it out. Check it out while you can, because a lot of these guys are marginalized. Okay, as marginalized. This guy. Nice. Check it out. My goodness. Let me read a few super chats, guys. I've only gotten to 2 calls. I'll get to all the rest of your calls, but if we mosey on over to buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Thank you, Lin Yan Chin, for the super chats yesterday. Let me get down here. Where do we leave off? NordicPagan. Cool name. Of course, pagan is not Christian. But anyway, thank you, Popcorn, for your coffees yesterday. NordicPagan says, hey, here's my first coffee to you. Thanks, man. What an honor. For Men's History Month, I'd like to nominate Mark from California. Los Angeles, specifically. He speaks his mind like a man should. True legend of the Hake Report. Shout out to the other great callers. Alan from Michigan. Hayden from Texas. Rick from Virginia. Robert from Kansas. Greetings from Sweden. Hake, heard around the world. Keyword around. Wow. By everybody and their mama. Shots fired by NordicPagan. Not a flat earther, perhaps. Unless you can go around the flat earth. I don't know. I'm a baltard. And those spellings of Alan and Hayden may not be correct, but nice. Thank you, sir. Yeah, shout out. Mark in Los Angeles. You notice that he's quite well disciplined. Like he tries to, although he does lose his religion a bit, gets angry. He tries to keep it orderly and civilized. Nice. Base America First, 2 coffees. Last Friday, Alex Michelson, I've heard that name, of Fox 11 Los Angeles, interviewed Karen Bass. Alex is a guy, actually, E-L-E-X. Michelson or Michelson, whatever. Karen Bass regarding Trump criticizing the lack of fire construction permits. Wow, nice. I hadn't heard any updates on that. Based America First, thank you for your 2 coffees. Karen said, Bass that is, well, sure, there are problems all over. But the thing is that we have been addressing them every step of the way. If you judge our progress based on other fires that have taken place in California, we have been months and months ahead, claims she. Months and months ago, the fires had just been contained. January 2025, and we're in August, mid-August, early January, by the way. Although it lasted, I don't know how long those fires lasted, but they were a while. Around 300 permits have been issued. 600 are waiting. 7,000 permits are needed. LA spending money training AI to approve permits. Why not temporarily hire some engineers? Karen Bass is basically saying that the professional architectural and engineering firm licensed in California on current building codes paid by millionaires are submitting non-compliant construction drawings to build multi-million-dollar houses that will easily collapse or burn, which that wouldn't be a decent assumption to make, right? Permit review can serve some utilitarian engineering needs, but mostly notifies the government how much to assess for property taxes. Whoa. Whoa. Interesting. So they're just not really looking out for the safety. They're looking out because they want money. Maybe. Wow. Karen Bass also recently appeared on CNN, my favorite network, Commie Nonsense Network. Not really, kids. Complaining that Trump using the military on crime in D.C. Quote, if the statistics say that crime is down, then why would you deploy the military? Because people feel afraid. Now I deal with that all the time, and I try to address people's feelings, Karen Bass purportedly said, per this quote. I don't think you just shove statistics in, folks, but you do other things to make them feel safe, she said. I feel, says Base America First, that Karen Bass is a dangerous moron, and California would benefit from real leadership by real men, not to be confused with Gavin Newsom. Yeah, what a mess, huh? They fearmonger. And then when they're afraid and when they're put on notice, they're like, we will not be intimidated by Trump. They're the ones who push intimidation and fear. What a mess. Thank you, Based America First. Keg thumps corn pop. Bought a coffee. I don't know if this is Popcorn's Thump Keg. This is Keg Thumps Corn Pop. I think it's different. Oh yeah, I think it is different because listen to this. Women and children first, quote unquote, is mama. Men make rational decisions based on the situation. Luke 14:5. Prioritizing limited resources is generally children. Next generation use fewer resources. Pregnant women, proven fertility. Women under 30, potential fertility. Able-bodied men, youngest to oldest. Older skills, long-term productivity. Depends on available survival resources, time to survive, chances of rescue. Children alone won't survive. What do you do for a group of women who need to get to safety? Give them a map? Sure wish we'd brought some men with tools to the deserted island so that they could build shelter, fish, and hunt. The moral of James Cameron's Titanic movie is don't simp. How many talented men of high societal value died on the real Titanic simping for mostly useless, rich, dried-up old biddies? Asks Keg Thumps Corn Pop, not to be confused with Popcorn's Thump Keg. Wow. Interesting. I'm afraid to ask what biddies is and what Luke 14:5 reads. Biddies. A biddy is a woman, especially an elderly one, regarded as annoying or interfering. Anybody come to mind? I disclaim, I disavow. My shirt. The old biddies were muttering in his direction. That's funny. Thank you for the vocabulary. Learn a new word. Luke 14:5 says, and he said to them, if any one of you has a son or an ox that has fallen into a well on the Sabbath, will you not immediately pull him out? An ox or a son who fell into a well on the Sabbath? Men make rational decisions based on the situation. Nice. Thank you, sir. Very cool. Cesar Cesar 3 coffee sup. Hake, it was great to hear Robert from Kansas call into the JLP show. I love when my favorite Hake report caller is called Jesse. Is it just me or did this week pass by extremely fast? Yeah, it's Thursday already. I'm glad Ronnie from Ohio called in to support the Godfather. My Godfather has great quotes claim. I've been recently watching for the first time or rewatching popular Italian films. Right on, Cesar Cesar. I've seen many of them at a young age, so I'd like to rewatch them with an older perspective. The Godfather trilogy was amazing, he says. Not gruesome at all for you, so I recommend you check them out as well, he says. Today, your top 3 competitors are joining forces to stream an awesome moment in streaming history. Myron, Nick, and Andrew Tate, the 3 most base people on the internet these days. Wishing everyone well. Cool sunglasses emoji. Thank you for the tip, sir. P.S. Hake, get out of your imagination and apply to get remonetized again, man. I know. YouTube super chats, because they're so convenient, you get so much more money. Even though a lot of that money goes to YouTube. Less, I'll have you know, buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. They don't take 30% like YouTube is reputed to do. The reputation of YouTube is that they take 30%. I've never independently confirmed that number. Nice. Thank you, Cesar. And Popcorn's Thump Keg, the real one. The Great White Hope just announced, GWH, right, that the law enforcement in D.C. now has the latitude to do whatever the HE double toothpicks, whatever the hell they want, to people who spit at or become violent towards them. He says the J6ers should consider themselves lucky that he didn't give that authoritarian authorization prior to that event, because if he had, there would have been potentially a lot of rioter casualties, says Popcorn. Are you in agreement with him giving the green light for law enforcement to do whatever the H way they want to people who hit police? And no, I'm not being hyperbolic. He literally did say they could do whatever they want to people if they hit them. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, Popcorn, but it cracks me up. I don't condone people hitting police. But if you solve that by cuffing them and taking them to jail while they await trial, not by telling the police to do whatever the H they want, that's a recipe for disaster. And he says, and he gives a Instagram reel. Let's hear this.
Until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back.
This sounds like a
law enforcement. Until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back against law enforcement last night. And they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, you know, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they get hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any search. So and you can see they want to get at it. And they're standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership. The radical left city council adopted no cash bail. By the way, until you knock the hell out of them.
So a nice little clip there shared by Black Media Page on IG. And people are mad about that. Black Media Page is mad about that, I guess. Nice. Thank you for the tip, Popcorn. That's I really I love it. He's so right about that. They've hamstrung the police. As the great Chad O. Jackson said, the dogs and the fire hoses was SOP, right? Standard operating procedure for dealing with rioters. No, those were racist hoses and racist dogs. When the rioters, out of order protesters would get out of control. So, I don't know, man. Obviously, it doesn't mean whatever, but he's just speaking in general terms, man. That's how a man talks. I think you're just not used to men being in charge. Popcorn. Don't get nervous. Have you noticed, though, Popcorn, that they've been... They spit at them, they yell at them, they hit them. One guy felony assault on a Customs and Border Protection group of officers with a sub sandwich. That's disgusting. especially if it had like mayo in it or pickles. Ugh. Olives. I cannot hide my disgust and judgment. Pardon me for getting emotional. Thank you, Popcorn, because that's a great tip, man. Isn't it so refreshing? But no, they're not refreshed. They're mad about it because they get way into their imaginations that, oh, some cop is going to do something to some degenerate police attacker who was asking for it, and then he's going to do wrong. They're going to calm down, Popcorn. I say. What did he ask me? Let me see. Yeah, I'm agreement with the green light on the police to put the smack down. Righteously, of course. Police are pretty well trained, you know. They're not emotional. They're not caught up in their pride. Sometimes they are. It's more the POC police per capita than the whites. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If something happens, they're going to blame Trump because of that statement. What a mess. Women. No. Okay, thank you guys for your support over there. The lines are full, so we're past the top of the hour. Let's see, where are we? Stephen in Maryland is on the line over here. Stephen, thank you for calling and holding. What's up? Oh, come off of mute, Stephen. I think you're on mute. Stephen. He's 88. We have to be patient. Stephen. Okay, he's not. We'll check on Stephen. What a mess. William in California is on the line over here. William, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
What's up, man? How you guys been doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, that was a good show yesterday with Rumble. How does Israel and white people affect you?
Yeah, over on with the Punchy TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing about it is that the only persons that I heard honestly answer it was Nick and Mr. Pink.
Yeah.
When they said no.
Not at all. That's true.
Yeah. Haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I've been farming.
Right
up
on.
in the north.
That's cool.
I got some. I took some steers to the auction this morning and picked up. I sold 10 and I brought back 10 little small boys, and they're already fixed and castrated. So I'll give them some milk and some grain, give them a little treat. You know, then I'll go to the Safeway dairy and get about 15 gallons of warm body temperature milk from the dairy.
Nice.
And that'll give them a nice little charge, and they go out in the field and settle down. So
that gives a
William's
nice little
trying to stay
picture of farm life for those animals.
I'm not a professional, but I just do what I was taught, and it's a pretty easy-going job. It's pretty physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to always, I don't know why everybody gets into this Israeli thing so much. It doesn't really affect anybody. I mean, they're going to always help Israel.
Right.
And they just might be our greatest ally besides Japan and Britain and all of them. But, you know, Europe is trying to not act right when it comes to the helping them out because Trump slapped them upside the head with telling them to pay their bills over there in Europe.
Yeah.
So
NATO.
They're being liberals. Yeah, they're being liberals. They're just being liberals. Aren't liberals dangerous?
Really dangerous.
How'd you like the guy yesterday on Jesse's show?
Which guy was on JLP's show?
The one that was talking about Martin Luther King.
Oh, Chad O. Jackson. I love it.
Hey, that's just about how it went.
Yep.
It's been that way all these years right in front of our face. That's why I don't fall for all of them holidays and all that black stuff, because I remember when that black stuff, when I was a kid, was getting kicked off, and it wasn't a good payoff for the blacks at all.
Okay.
It was not good. You know, I wasn't that old, but I was like a kid. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
And a lot of the blacks that were doing something and taking care of business, they kind of didn't fall for that. I noticed some of those older people. I used to remember that.
Yeah.
It would be like a certain group that would fall for it, and a certain group that wouldn't. I'm glad my father and mother didn't have me around that kind of stuff, because, you know, Martin was he was a communist.
MLK, a communist, huh?
Straight up.
Fair enough.
Straight up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and my contribution for today, I want to say Marv Levy.
Levy, American football coach, old timer. Oh, I recognize this guy, Marvin.
He just had his birthday.
Daniel, 100 years old. August 3rd, 1925, Chicago.
Yeah.
NFL coach.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills, 86 to 97. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, I like sports figures, politicians, actors. That's my thing. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings when I do my contributions.
Nice.
But that's who I like. That's the kind of things I like. So my next one is going to be Jim Otto.
Football
Jim
center.
Otto.
He hiked the ball. White man.
Right.
38 to 2024. 1938 to 2024. 86. He died.
All pro, I think, over 10
He was
years
number
straight or
0.
something like that.
0 with the Raiders.
Yeah. Oakland Raiders.
Inducted in 1980. Wow. Jim Otto. Cool.
He played hurt. You know what I mean? He played when his body was just shouldn't have been out there, and he did it anyway. You know, he was tough.
Yeah.
You know, and my third one's going to be, I don't know, we need to get this guy a Nobel Peace Prize or a medal of, what's that, the highest medal you can get as an American, the president gives you.
Oh, I forget, too.
Congressional, I don't know what medal that is. This guy needs to get one before he dies, because I think he's in his mid-90s. Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell. Medal of Freedom, maybe. No, I don't know.
I think so, probably.
Yeah, I think it is. Thomas Sowell. I remember. Nice. That's cool. Yeah. So he didn't get a Medal of Freedom yet?
I don't know, but if he hasn't, he needs to be acknowledged at least before Trump leaves.
Yeah.
Because they hardly talk about him.
95 years old he is.
Shelby Steele and Carol Swain. Was that Carol Swain? Is it Carol Swain? Yeah, I think so. Carol or Diane. Yeah, Carol Swain. They don't talk about some of the sensible blacks enough. They just don't. And Jean Pirro put out the cardboard blown up. And she showed all these children, teenagers from 11 to 22 or 23 years old, something wild. And one was 3 years old, all of them black, all of them dead.
Wow.
In 2024.
Nice.
And then she showed another one for 2025, and it's already probably half that now. So this thing about Tony calling in talking about I want my country back because he brought in the troops over there in D.C. D.C. is a very dangerous place. I'll talk to Nick about that.
Okay, that's what that is.
It's a beautiful place, though. Listen, man, those buildings, those historical federal buildings, the whole Capitol complex is beautiful. It is. It's really nice.
Okay.
But the outskirts, southeast and southwest and northeast, they're pretty bad, pretty dangerous. And the assassins are as young as 11. They just shoot you on the street.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's right.
Well, thank you for the update.
What's wrong with the blacks, James? What's happening with them?
They're a mess. And they believe lies. They love lies. They're listening to the father of lies. What a mess.
Tony was called in yesterday just lying.
Yeah.
I don't even like calling people that too often, but he was.
That's what he was doing. For sure, man.
He was lying. And perverted with it.
Yeah.
When
Totally.
you get to your calls, James, I'm going to get back outside.
All right, man.
Check on these little guys. And
Sounds
you guys
good.
take care of yourself down there.
You too. Take care. Very nice. Edwin, a first-time caller in California. What's up, Edwin? Thank you for calling, man.
Hey, what's up, Hake?
Hey, not much. Chilling.
Chilling. All right. Well, I called to give a couple guys for Men's History Month. Happy Men's History Month, by the way.
Thank you. Happy Men's History Month to you.
All right. So they're all actors, and it just came to mind because yesterday I was watching Trump talk at the Kennedy Centers, you know, the nominees and all that.
Okay.
And so I'll start with, I got to go with Sylvester Stallone, a.k.a. Rocky Balboa.
That's right. Sly Stallone.
You know, is a great American icon, you know.
He is.
And for my second one, I'm going to say Tim Allen, a.k.a. Tim Toolman Taylor.
I haven't heard that name in a while. Nice.
Yeah.
Home Improvement.
Like an alpha. Yes, sir. You know, alpha dad.
Right on.
And last, because he's least, no, I'm playing. No, I'm not. Alfonso Bundy or Edward Leonard O'Neill.
Edward Leonard O'Neill. Let's find out if that's the name, if I'm spelling it correctly. Ed O'Neill, N-E-I-L-L.
Yeah.
You know what?
Like
I saw
Irish
him.
or something.
I didn't really appreciate him. I used to think he was ugly and I didn't like him. But I saw him he was one of the coaches in one of the Prefontaine movies. I'm like, this guy's actually cool. Right on.
Yeah, I read somewhere that he's more of a beta, like on the liberal side. I think he even ran for office in some state. I forget when, but he lost.
That's funny. Ed
Yeah.
O'Neill. Let's see here. He looks like a liberal.
I know, but you know, Al Bundy didn't seem like a liberal. It didn't. I don't know. Maybe I gotta rewatch it. But.
I know. You know who I used to like was the guy who's the Late Show. He just got his show canceled. One of those late night shows. Colbert. Colbert used to.
Oh yeah.
He used to do this spoof thing, and he would go viral on the internet sometimes or something, and he would play like he was a liberal. I mean, a conservative. And it was kind of. It was kind of, I guess, in the liberals' mind, unreasonable conservative. But I was like, yeah, based, awesome. And so I liked him. And so maybe that's what Ed O'Neill was. He was just playing a based, if you will, dad. You know what's funny is Tim Allen, it was kind of amusing. It was amusing. But I felt that these guys, Al Bundy and Tim Allen, they both played kind of weak men, if you look at it closely.
Yeah.
And it was the 90s. In the 90s, compared to the 2020s, they seemed based, but they were actually quite liberal for at least especially Married with Children. It was pretty extreme for the time. And so all these shows that we look at back on, we're like, oh, based, the good old days. It was actually part of the decline. They were taking part in the decline. But I don't want to take that away. It was a very
Still great
entertaining
American.
shows, and they're men, and we respect men.
Yeah. Right. And then my last topic.
Okay.
The word genocide.
Nice.
Okay, nothing to do with, any whatever, Israel, yada, yada, yada. Just the word genocide.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm Mexican, so maybe maybe my English isn't up to par, but isn't genocide like okay, so the destruction or the getting rid of all the people of a race, right? Eradicating them.
Yeah. That's the idea.
So Right. So how could there be a genocide if there's still Palestinians alive, or whoever else is getting genocided?
That's what I'm talking about. How come no genocide's ever been successful? There's only been there's probably been some peoples who've gone extinct, I suppose, but none of the people who. I get that you're going after a whole bunch of Jews, right? You go after round up the Jews in the Holocaust or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. How do there's still American Indians here, and we treated them quite well. There's times that we treated them badly, maybe, and times that they treated us badly, and times that we treated each other well. It's like different situations in different times, and sometimes there's evil doing. I'm with you, man.
Yeah, because it's it's like, how can you, the S word, when you self-checkout, when you sue your own side.
Yeah, yep.
It's like, how can you, so if you botched it, did you still sue yourself?
No, it's an attempt at suicide. Yeah, so you could accuse them of attempted genocide.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
That's funny. Right on, man. Talking some sense.
All right, Hake.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I was like, all right, man. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Right on. Call me again anytime. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
William number 7 out of California. William, thank you for calling. How you doing?
Hey, Hake. William number 7 is a actual boomer.
Oh, you are?
Well, I say that in the context of I hung up 3 times when I called in before the start of the show and wound up hanging up 3 times trying to disconnect my Bluetooth.
Oh,
and, it hung up like 3 different times.
That type of boomer. Yep.
Yeah, so obviously I don't know how my new phone operates. So in that way, I'm a boomer. I was born 20 years after 1944. I guess that's what anybody born in after the World War II is a boomer, right?
I don't know.
I thought
I don't remember.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you just meant technologically boomer-ish.
Yes. I think technically I'm a flower child because I was born in the 60s after the, the mess in the 60s.
Yeah, I was under the assumption that you're Gen X.
Which is, remind me of...
Gen X is, I don't know, it ranges from, they're right after the boomers. They're right after the boomers. They're between the boomers and the millennials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, being born in 60, I thought a millennial was born after 2000. That's a big generation. That's 40 years.
Millennials were born in 80. Millennials were born in 81 till maybe something. I don't know.
Do you think they're called that because they became of age during the new millennium?
Yeah, they turned 18 around. They were 18 or so around the year 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, all right. So then I guess
1964 is the last year. 1965 is the first year of Gen X.
I am Gen X.
Says
wow.
David. Thank you, David.
Oh, wow.
David.
So I was going to answer the biblical question, sir. And I forgot how it was phrased as far as is it what's more important?
The difference between the facts and the truth. JLP's biblical question. I like this topic, so I'll let it slide. Normally I'd tell you to call JLP, but I'll let it slide. I like the facts and the truth. I have a whole T-shirt.
So
facts versus
truth.
truth.
So I would say, you said so the difference. Well, I forgot. Did you say the difference? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the difference. So I thought about this because you've talked about facts a lot in the past over shows.
Yeah.
As I'm driving. And so I think facts is short for factors. In other words, what factors apply to any situation. So basically, when you're trying to get to the truth of something, which is basically what courtrooms are for, whether it's criminal, civil, someone's trying to prove a case that you harmed me or whatever, or this guy needs to go to prison or jail, or, if you're in another country, you have your hands chopped off, whatever it is. they're trying to get to the bottom of it. So I think the lawyers' jobs are supposed to bring out all the factors. And as a retired police officer, we were supposed to answer the who, what, why, where, when, and what, as far as the incident and related directly to the incident. And so I would say the only way you're going to get to any truth, regardless of what it is, you have to make sure you include all factors and weigh them appropriately. Because if you think about it, if you switch to, and that's a reality, but if you switch to mathematics and any kind of formula, all the factors, you got something that multiplies something, you got something that you divide by. So if there's multiple people, they might share in the blame, which is why sometimes certain people get a lighter sentence. If they're younger, they got influenced. Something that would take away from something is your like I said, your innocence. But then something might weigh heavily if you're older and you should know better. And so all that is weighted and factored to determine the final truth. And then usually after a court case, you then get sentenced, and after they decided you were guilty of a charge, and all charges hold different weights and punishments. Once they get, and that's what the first, second, and third degree of a lot of crimes are. So basically, the difference is facts is how you arrive at a truth. And it takes wisdom and many people to make sure nothing's left out. Otherwise, you will have innocent people being charged like they did Jesus. And that is my answer.
Interesting,
or
William.
my opinion. But yeah, I wanted to bridge reality to basically mathematics, which, I guess that's important for building bridges so they don't collapse, in buildings. But yeah, that's just my my contribution.
Big Bump last year said the best analogy hit me last night. Facts are not the truth, he says. In the court of law, facts and evidence are gathered and produced, statements, anomalies, data, stats, witness, etc. But the final judgment in the case is the verdict, veredictum or veritas, truth, he says. Similar to what you were talking about. And that's an analogy because this is a spiritual question. And the biblical questions have to do with the spirit. And
thank you, Hake.
Yeah. And like Jesus called himself the truth.
So I was just going to go to that next. That was my next point. Wow.
Yeah.
Same wavelength, man. So basically, you know how Jesus says, I am the way, truth, and the life?
Yeah.
In other words, what he said is how you arrive there, not that he was God. So that's where I think the big disconnect and why Christianity is such a mess is that we're so busy arguing about who Jesus claimed he was instead of he said, I say nothing unless my Father tells me. My Father's greater than me.
Yeah.
My Father, and it pleased him. And even God said it pleased me to do what I did to my son because it was to prove, because it was the opposite of Satan. Satan came to lie, deceive, and destroy, and he went and intervened with Adam and Eve through deceit and tricked them. And so God raised his own son in heaven by spirit first, and then when he became incarnate, he was able to do what it even says, Jesus wanted to be in the second Adam in Hebrews, where the first Adam all sinned. Through Jesus, the second Adam, all shall be saved. And it's a matter of just getting the whole knowledge of the truth. And it takes time, and that's why Jesus was patient. That's why it said through Jesus came peace and grace. Well, actually, grace, peace, and truth. Those are the three things that he mainly brought. He didn't come, but because of that, that's where the sword comes, because families will fight over it. Nations fight over it. Denominations fight over it, even today.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to rightly divide the word of God, and I don't think it's being done. So unfortunately, we're all arguing that Jesus claimed to be God when he did not. It never has said that. It just, all the scriptures say is that his message was directly from God, unadulterated, and his miracles prove to the authenticity.
Nice.
But yeah. So there's that.
The spirit of truth, John 16:13-15. When he, the spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. He shall not
Yes.
speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. And he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, Jesus, for he shall receive of mine and show it to you. All things the Father has are mine, therefore said I, that he shall take of mine and shall show it to you, the Spirit of truth. Truth
Right.
is the Spirit.
Which that right there in the Bible proves that we will be, the Spirit even today will constantly lead us in the truth.
Yeah.
And so that means there's always stuff to be revealed. I mean, I think there's always lies. We're well aware of all the lies on TV and news and whatever. Some say cosmology, but I've never gotten high enough to see that. But, you know, everything's lied about so much, and we're distracted by everything in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, I took the day off, and I just walked around and looked at the animals, relaxed, and saw things I normally don't see because we're just so distracted by just, the TVs, and well, if you're dumb enough to watch a lot of that, or even internet, you know. But
Facts.
yeah, I think it's about. Did you say facts or doc?
I said facts.
Right, those are factors. They all factor into how I go to bed. Did I do anything to help out? Well, at 60 years old, I should have it dialed in. So at this point, am I able to show the truth or the light to anybody else? Does anybody see me and go, Bill, or William, what are you doing? And if they ask, great. But if you don't, you can't force it on them. You can't, because it can come off very, especially depending on your characteristics and your type of traits you have. And, you know, and that's why working on yourself is very important. So you can be a useful tool instead of a useless tool for God.
Thanks again, William. I appreciate it. This number 7.
All right, man.
Take care.
Peace out, everybody.
Maze out of beautiful Dayton, Ohio, on the line over here. Maze, thank you for calling and holding. Happy
Hello?
Men's History Month.
Who am I?
Men's History.
Oh, Jay, how can I convince you that I'm not a lady?
How can you convince me that you're not a lady? You cannot.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So tell the person that always got to convince people that he's black, he's not. And
Wait a minute. Who's trying to convince anybody that he's black?
every day, they always try to say they're black, and they're not.
No, that's your. I don't know. I don't get that sense.
Okay, we're gonna go on past that subject because it's not. But
All right.
you talking about facts now? If nobody never seen you,
Mhm.
do you have red hair? And if somebody know you have red hair and looking at you, your hair is red, right?
Right.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Okay, so that's how you determine what facts are. And then again, so what we looking at, all y'all happy CWPs, that's what's going on
Caucasian
in
white people.
Yes, either Europeans. I have to add that one in there too. They're so happy about D.C. and what was out there in L.A. Was him going to different states where you have people of color running things.
Yeah.
You know how to get to your brain because you're so scared of fear, but not looking at every state. Because you got things going on all the different states. But you're going to find on one like New York, you want to go to Chicago, and you want to talk about crime. And then you got criminals up there that he got out of jail. And we supposed to look at, really?
Oh, because he let people out of jail? He let some criminals out of
He pardoned
jail?
a whole lot of crooks.
Right.
January 6th will pardon a whole lot of people he pardoned that should be still in jail today.
Yeah, but they're not troublemakers who are
that's what they
dangerous on
doing.
the street.
What are they doing?
They did wrong. They did wrong at that time, but they learned their lesson.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
Yep.
only people of color don't learn lessons. Only
They don't seem to.
you look like you learn lessons.
They seem to. They have higher rates of recidivism, perhaps.
Really? Y'all stay stuck.
But you're acting like it's a bad thing to get the DC crime under control. It doesn't even make sense to
crime
me.
everywhere.
I get that there's crime everywhere. Yes, there's crime
can't you
everywhere.
put them in
But
every
DC, there should not be crime. That's the capital.
When's the last time you've been to D.C. or have you ever been to D.C.?
I've been to DC many times, and it was beautiful, and I didn't experience any crime. Thank God.
Oh yes, so you going about what you heard about what somebody told you?
Yeah, I heard that it's bad.
It's
Yeah,
just like
I heard that Seth Rich got murdered, and they never solved his murder.
Oh yes, a whole lot of people get murdered in different places and they never saw it.
Right. Yes,
You
that's
know,
true. Especially in
true
like
crime is
places like
like-
Chicago.
I was
Chicago
interested-
has extremely high homicide rates
I was interested.
Wait, Maze.
Okay,
One at a time. Chicago, for example, has very high homicide rates and very low homicide clearance rates. That clearance rates means that they've resulted in an arrest or the suspect they believe is dead or something. And
if you say so.
when it's not cleared, that means it's unsolved. So that means that people are getting away with murder in Chicago at a very high rate.
Okay, if you watch true crimes, are those crimes on there, they fake or they real?
Those tend to be real, I think.
Okay, so we don't hear them on the evening news every day. You see, you get people like Breitbart with his dumb self and Fox and all those people.
Beautiful Breitbart is dead.
Newsmax, every day they showing a crime that a black person commit, but nothing that they do.
Huh?
So I'm saying eventually it's going to run out. You're not going to have the people show, and then going to, and then it's going to turn.
Don't you think that the law-abiding blacks in D.C. would welcome this?
What?
Don't you think that the law-abiding blacks in D.C. would welcome
like
this?
It should be done. Everybody is just only D.C. D.C. is not paying tax. Well, they don't have a state anyway. But I'm talking about the state people with statehood. They don't have statehood. So people that don't have statehood, that do have statehood, do you think that they pay taxes? Do they need the same thing going on their street? Not only picking.
The good thing is that the white communities are a little bit better self-policed. And they don't really need as much policing, although they do now because people are going into their neighborhoods and stealing stuff, Beverly Hills and places like that.
Y'all don't. They don't steal. They don't do. They don't commit crimes.
Not as much. Not as much.
No. I ain't asked you about much. A little bit of big, a lot, not.
But when it's a lot, that's why D.C. is under a state of emergency.
Didn't she get a ticket for drunk driving?
Who's that?
Judge Deneen.
I don't know if that's true or not.
You ain't got to never look it up.
That may be inaccurate.
What?
That may be an inaccurate statement.
How's she going to turn around and she
I
should
think
be
it's about 20 years ago, Baze.
I don't care how many days that she spent in jail for it.
I don't know. I don't even know.
You should have.
But what's your point in bringing up something wrong that she may or may not have done? I don't even know. I just
come on, drunk drivers and all this different stuff that they ain't even picked up 100 people.
Right.
Just put y'all in fear of what y'all know what y'all saying.
So whatever happened with her, justice has been served. Let's get justice now.
Get served with crooks.
Yes.
And then I have one more question. Why do you hate Obama? You say you don't like to hate him because he's black. What reason do you hate him?
Because I disagree with him. Isn't that shameful?
You do. I disagree with Trump too, but I don't hate him.
Good for you. You're a better woman than
Y'all
I
just
am.
like they just don't like him. No, the things that he's doing is gonna come back to haunt him too. And then I want those girls from Epstein, I want them to come and speak. I want to hear them. I don't want to hear nobody else. The news media, nobody. I just want them to come.
I don't really want to hear
from
them.
What happened to them when they were children?
You know, the ones who tend to speak are
let the pedophiles fall where they may. I don't care who it was.
The ones who tend to speak are the kookiest, worst ones, you know?
No, they got to be kooky.
The ones who have spoken so far were kooky.
You should be able to tell and not being threatened.
I think that
paid off.
And I don't mean to demean Virginia Giuffre, even though I just did.
What are you doing then?
I just mean that she was on a mission, and I believe it was bad for her, and it was bad all around.
We need to see how many it was. Just
we
like
don't
Monica
need to see any. We don't need to do anything but stay black and live.
Just like Monica, when Clinton told that lie, the truth finally came out, and this truth gonna come out too, because we want to hear from those kids, those little girls.
They're not little anymore.
What happened? No, when they happened to them, they were little.
They weren't that little, I don't think.
Well, yes. So we need to hear from them. We need from the media.
They were fit. They were fit young ladies.
That's where the facts are going to come from. And we are at, we're not like Mark. I wonder if Mark went to some picnics. Maybe he'll tell us when he called back in again, because he sound like
what do you mean by a picnic?
He'll understand what I said. He'll understand what I meant.
Okay, well, all right.
What?
I said, okay, well, all right. I guess we'll find out.
Like I told Azzmador when I talked to him.
Beautiful Azzmador.
He'll alive today if he wouldn't have been wearing a Band-Aid and following people and got himself into something that he couldn't get out of.
Yeah, he learned his lesson from Charlottesville. It was
learned his lesson. That's why he's not here today.
Yeah, he's not here because he stayed in hiding.
He's not here because of what?
He stayed in hiding while he had health issues.
But he didn't do that?
The law was coming down extra hard on him because he's white.
Really? And then Epstein was put in jail by what administration?
I think the Trump or Biden. I don't know.
I think it was Trump administration.
Yeah, I think it was under Trump. Yeah, because Biden and Obama, they support.
But Obama had nothing to do with it. They didn't put him in jail.
Yeah, because Obama supports that.
They put the lady in jail either, so I'm saying, like, this is confusing. Now, they put him in jail.
And they knew about him for But I don't even know why they tried to prosecute him again. It's strange. It doesn't make sense, I don't think.
And you're supposed to be friends. That's how friends do friends? Really?
Well, it
That's
wasn't
where you
Trump's
gonna-
bidding. I
that's how
don't
you
think
gonna-
that Trump necessarily had something to do with it. I
Right.
don't know.
Those girls can tell. They can tell what happened to them.
Well,
But
they're
nobody won't let
not
them-
necessarily reliable witnesses,
Eh,
Mace.
Getting threats and all this different stuff. So that's what I'm wondering. So you
Well-
hate Obama, you hate Obama, Maxine, and all these people.
Well,
just,
if I love anyone, I don't hate Obama.
you can hate him. I don't care if you hate him. That's
No,
not my problem.
I'm tired of hating.
Huh?
I'm tired of
Tired
hating.
of hating.
I'm
No,
tired.
you need to get rid of your fear, and the hate will go away
Thank you, Maze.
if you did.
That's right.
And look around every corner, like every news.
Well, there's practical fear, Maze. You know that.
Really,
I'm not
it
going to
is.
go out at D.C. at night where Seth Rich was walking.
Wait a minute, yeah, Steph Rich, that looks fake to me too. How you gonna have blood stains all over you and then a clean T-shirt sitting on the side?
You're
What, wasn't
confusing Seth
what,
Rich
wasn't he
with
sitting-
Big B's.
Wasn't he sitting in the hospital?
No, you
and
don't
he
know
was
what you're talking about.
dead?
Seth Rich
I don't
got
believe
killed.
that.
Seth Rich
What?
got killed in 2016.
No, I'm talking about this, and this is one of the reasons he went to D.C.
I know.
What's his-
You're talking about a different one.
Yeah, the one.
Big
What's his name?
B's.
Big Balls or whatever he
Yes,
calls
that
himself.
one.
That don't even look. He don't even look. That
I
don't-
think he should get the Medal of Freedom Award, just like Rosa
Clean-
Parks and
Clean
MLK.
shirt on the side of the chair, and then he all beat up and with blood rolling, and he should have been sitting up in a hospital bed, but he was sitting somewhere wherever he was. That don't even
Well,
matter.
they just picked him up from like the street.
Well, they pick him from the street, but he taking pictures. Really?
I don't know.
Some people sleep sometime and not all the time.
Whatever.
You have a good one.
You too,
And
Mace.
ask Mark, did he go to any picnics?
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. What a mess. David in Texas is on the line over here. David, thank you for calling and holding. What is up?
How you doing, young man?
Doing well, sir.
Good. Good. This is Anton, correct?
Anthony? James?
Anton.
Yes, Anton. That's
Yes,
my middle name.
Anton.
Indeed.
Anton. Hey, and that's a fact.
It is.
So, do you know? Have you ever heard of the of a world population calculator?
I feel like I might have heard something like that before.
You know that there are approximately, according to this calculator, there's approximately 360,000 souls that come into the world every day.
Really? That's wild.
Yeah.
How many?
And
how many?
150 to 160 leave.
Repeat those two numbers again.
360 in, 160 out.
And this is hundreds of thousands.
Correct.
360,000 in.
Did you ever hear the? Did you ever hear
160
this
out.
difference? But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
360,000 come in, 160,000
Yeah.
go out.
Right.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
And those vary depending on the country and the populace.
Well, no, that's I'm sure, but I mean
Yeah.
that's the world. That's the world population.
Right. Yeah.
Increase and decrease.
Yep.
But the calculator that I just looked at a few minutes ago or an hour or so ago, it was trying to poo-poo the whole idea of populating the planet. They were like some of these people that say that there's too many people
Yeah.
on Earth.
Wow.
But anyway, have you ever heard the difference between a billion seconds and a billion seconds?
The difference between a million and a billion
Seconds.
seconds?
How long do you think a million seconds is in days?
Oh man.
Don't be Googling.
I would just let me just guess. A million seconds is a week.
Pretty close. It's 11 days.
Okay.
Now,
nice.
how many is a billion seconds? How many days is a billion seconds?
Oh man. A century?
No.
More?
30 years.
30 years. A billion seconds.
A billion seconds. Isn't that incredible, though? I mean, the difference between a billion and a million is
that's 1,000 million.
astronomical.
That's 1,000 That's 1,000 million, right? So 1,000 million.
I think
Okay,
so.
that makes sense. Why was I saying a century? I was trying to. So 30 years is 1 billion seconds. Wild.
Isn't that crazy?
And 1 million seconds is a mere 11 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Just weird,
how many
man.
is a trillion? Because 1,000 billion.
I don't know. I don't know.
1,000 times.
I
It's
don't
basically
know.
like 1,000 times 30 years, then roughly.
Golly,
So
yeah.
30,000 years. Something like a trillion.
Isn't that these numbers are, you know, we think that we have some kind of a grasp on these numbers, you know, when people are throwing them out. Because when I'm 56, so when I was a kid, you know, you hardly ever heard anybody talk about billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Ever. Hardly ever, never, ever. It just wasn't ever discussed. It was, you know, I mean, the unattainable was being a millionaire when I was a kid, you know?
Right.
I mean, that was like something that, you know,
Now they're a dime a
everybody
dozen.
dreamed of being.
Tupac was a millionaire. He's like, we always on our dime. We millionaires. Anyway, that's a rapper. Rapper from the 90s. He got himself killed.
I always call Tupac two-pack because he's 4 short of a 6-pack.
Nice.
No, I don't have anything against Tupac.
Yeah, me either.
I always equated rap music to, I always call it bank robbing music because it just like amps me up and gets me angry and
ready to rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's an interesting point, man. So million, billion, trillion. What a mess.
Astronomical.
Yeah.
Astronomical differences.
Just mind-boggling.
Men's History Month.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I did not mention my pastor growing up as a child. His name was W.A. Criswell, Criswell.
Okay.
Wallie Amos.
Nice.
First Baptist Church, downtown Dallas. Led me at 7 years old in a sinner's prayer. And, you know, I thought that covered me, but of course, now that I've been listening to Jesse, I'm not so convinced. But it did lay a good foundation down for me as a kid. I'm glad that.
And that's
I'm glad that I got most of my education.
He died in 2002, Baptist minister. You're talking about Wallie Amos Criswell Jr., right?
Yeah.
He died at the tender age of 92, 23 years ago or so.
One of the main expressways in Dallas is called Central Expressway. It runs north and south out of downtown.
Yeah.
It's I-75, but they shut that whole freeway down for his funeral procession.
Wow.
It was crazy, yeah. But he was a good man. He, you know, really down to earth. I really liked him and his teaching. He was a little emotional now that I look back on it. You know, I see some of that, but yeah. Nevertheless, he was a good man.
Wallie.
I enjoyed Wallie Amos
with an I-E, not a Y. Amos, nice name. Criswell Jr. No H in Criswell. That's cool.
Right. Yeah.
SB, the Southern Baptist Convention. He was in the key figure in the late 70s conservative resurgence within the Southern Baptist Convention. Right on. Sounds like a
my dad worked for the Southern Baptist Convention for a while. He was on the board for the Southern Baptist Convention many years ago, 30 years ago or so.
Nice.
So I have some good upbringing.
Yeah.
But you know, when you ride the coattails of your parents or anybody for your salvation, you're in trouble, man.
Yeah.
You know, just because my dad rubbed elbows with God and with Jesus doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be my plight in life unless I get to work, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the scripture says that we have to work out our salvation, correct? And I think that silent prayer and things of that nature are, what brings us back to the present, and it's helping.
Right on.
It's helped me a tremendous amount. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your contribution to the men's history.
You're all right. You're all right for a white boy.
Indeed. Great call.
That's what I tell my sons. That's what I tell my two boys. I say, yeah, you're all right for a white boy.
Nice.
Well, you have a good afternoon, man. Thanks again for all that you do, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your contribution. Take care. Call again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Jules Verne asks over on Rumble, Hake, if you think Israel is our greatest ally, can you provide some evidence for that? Triple question mark. Just 1 or 2 points will be fine. Under Bibi, they're our greatest ally. Because Bibi is pro-Trump, anti-Obama, and that's good enough for me. That's 2 points, I think. No, that's only 1 point. And they let the Christians do the nice little tours. I saw something. I don't really have time for this. Let's see. Israel. Where are they? Where are you, Israel? Oh, Israel. Oh, Israel. I had a classmate called Israel, I think. He and his sister were like twins. I remember them. They were kindergartners. Israel. Okay, there we go. Israel or Palestine, who's more Christian friendly? Grok answered it. Here's my other point about Israel. And then I have to move on, guys, because we're coming down to the wire. No American Anchor Baby today. He's on hiatus. Israel is the only Middle Eastern country where Christian population is growing. 182,000 2021 to about 188,000 2025. Enjoys full rights. Except you're not supposed to proselytize, I heard. But anyway, but that's okay. Including political representation in the Knesset. The Knesset, or Knesset, or however that's pronounced. In contrast, Christian numbers are declining in Muslim-majority nations like Egypt, Syria, and Iraq due to discrimination and violence. And so that was a setup by this Adam Porat guy who was... which is the only country in the Middle East where a Christian population is growing. Christians have full rights and political representation compared to Muslim-majority countries where Christians are shrinking and face discrimination. Because this woman was like, these are not our allies or friends. These are demons, and they are our enemies. They lie, steal, cheat, murder, and blackmail. Pray for the innocent. How about just pray for the enemy, for your enemies? God will have his vengeance. And he this woman... this black female, real, quote-unquote, Candace O, quote tweeted, Muhammad Shahada, Israel just bombed the very Gazan church Pope Francis used to call daily during the genocide. They injured the very priest Gabriel Romani, who used to update the Pope on the situation. 2 churchgoers were killed, 6 wounded. And as Bibi said, he's sorry. It's an accident.
Ah, con la messa.
Ah, con la messa.
Avete mangiato oggi?
What in the world? I'm not falling for this. Rest in peace, Pope. They're recording him. This is all. Let your good deeds be seen before all men. So I don't know. I can't answer that. I didn't really take a strong position on whether they're our greatest ally. Stop pressuring me, Age of Inversion. I got to wrap things up, guys. We have, I got to get out of here. The callers, I cannot get to you. Mark in Los Angeles, I wanted to ask you about the picnic, but I don't have time. And the rest of the callers, Jermaine in Canada. And super chatters, peace in the Middle East. Or at least in your hearts. And maybe not even that. Because you say no, you would not have it. Take care, guys. Bye. can't see it very clearly, but there is water